Welcome to the Self-Care 101 podcast with your host, straight-talking life coach, Puja McClymont. This show provides simple self-development, supporting you to embody your self-worth so that you can live the happier, more fulfilled life that you deserve without burning out. Thank you so much for listening today. Hello, it's season 2, episode 24. How do you value yourself? Do you value yourself? What does valuing yourself even mean? Now, I really don't make life easy for myself. I could work with people who want to set up a business, want to know about marketing or PR, or sell products. But no, I choose to work with people who want to improve themselves through personal development. And this is very difficult. It's obviously the work that you do through personal development has a knock-on effect on all the other areas of your life, but it's an essential piece of the puzzle. Problem is, my potential clients rarely see this. I cannot tell you how many free coaching calls that I've had with prospective clients who know how much it is to work with me. They've done their research, but at the end of the call, they don't commit to the process. Now, there are a few factors as to why. 1, they'd rather buy that new handbag because it's tangible. 2, they're afraid of living their best life. 3, they're afraid of living their best life. Now, that's not a mistake. I've said it twice on purpose, because if you don't value yourself, you're less likely to make the changes that you say that you want. This is a real talk show today, so get ready to learn some truths and also ways to help you build value in yourself. It can really make a massive difference to the way you live your life. Now, if you love the Self-Care 101 podcast, please, can you head over to Apple Podcasts, subscribe and leave me a review. This really helps others find the show, and I am eternally grateful for your support. And if you want more great content, I am embarking on expanding the podcast with your help. If any episode has resonated with you and you'd like to support the show, I've put together 3 memberships starting from just £10 that will help me elevate your experience. Just head to the support link in the description of the episode for more info, and you can buy me a coffee. Now, on to the show. Why don't you value yourself? This is a really big, difficult question to answer, but we all have at some point not valued ourselves for some reason or another. Now, let's take the case in point of the example I gave in the intro with regards to a client signing up to work with me. Now, a client who knows that they can't do it alone anymore, that they need the support, they want to take a chance and see what happens. They're the type of client that will contract with me, right? So they may not believe in coaching fully yet. They may not believe in the power of counseling. They may realize that they can't do this alone and that coaching is really the only way to do this. And then they'll look up coaching, look into it, do their research, find me, and we get working together. But essentially, they've had to go through a process of accepting that they need to put their needs first if they really want to live the life that they say that they want. You know, that life when you are sitting on the kitchen floor crying on a Saturday night, thinking you don't have the partner and you don't have the happiness that you thought you'd have. It's in those moments that you start to value yourself and you realize that actually, if I want things to change, I'm going to have to change things. But this journey can take years, and sometimes it doesn't ever happen, which essentially leads to depression and very difficult to get out of that mindset. Now, when you don't value yourself, you're essentially putting everyone and everything else before yourself. So say you were, I don't know, really, really unhappy and you just can't, let's say you're unhappy with work and you just can't get it to work for you. You hate going into the office. You don't like your colleagues. You don't like your boss. You don't like what you do. You will still carry on with that job because you have bills to pay, or you have a lifestyle to uphold, or if you have a family, you've got a family to feed. But if you valued yourself, you would leave that job. Now, I'm not saying anything, irresponsible here. I'm not saying leave your job if you hate your job. I would never say that. But the process can begin. When you realize that this job doesn't work for you, you start the process to value yourself and find your way out of that situation. But the problem with trying to value yourself, when you don't value yourself, you sort of sit on this Ferris wheel to nowhere, right? Just to, I guess, no, you know what? The Ferris wheel does go somewhere. It goes to the place of unhappiness, and it's perpetual unhappiness for your life. Valuing yourself means that you put yourself and your needs above all else. And this is a really difficult concept for so many of us to get behind. I was one of those people. There are moments where I still am that person. It's very tricky when you've got children. But I know that if I don't do some of my non-negotiables in my day or my month, I know that I cannot be good for the rest of the people in my life, my family, my friends, colleagues, etc. To value yourself is to look at what you need and then take the actions that support that need. Not being at the mercy of other people or things, not being at the mercy of conditioning that you've had, beliefs that you have had since you were a child, but actually thinking about what you need and then giving those things to you. So if you need support in living your life, living your best life, changing career, finding a relationship, anything, and a coach can help you, hire the coach because the coach will help you. But if you don't believe in the value of getting that support and you think, oh, I should just do it on my own, and that's when you sort of go into difficult territory, because if you valued yourself, you would make the investment and get that support that you need, because we were not put on this earth to do it alone. If we were, community and relationships would not be so important and an integral part of human existence. So valuing yourself starts with what you need and then giving it to yourself. I can tell you this now. We value things more than we do ourselves. We value a new kitchen. We value a house. We value a car. We value an outfit. We value a night out more than we do ourselves and our needs. That is the God's honest truth. This isn't your fault. This is not a blame. This is not a judgment. This is just fact, because we grow up in a society that is hell-bent on capitalism. It is hell-bent on you spending money, consumerism, even more so. But it's about you spending money to solve your problems and spending your money on things that essentially don't solve your problems. They are just plasters. Now, if you are an avid listener of the show, probably season 1 is where I talked about value a lot, where things are just plasters. We're not actually dealing with the problems. If you really want to deal with your problems, it is as simple as this. Find a counselor or find a coach. That is it. Okay? That's the only way you're going to get yourself out. There are no amount of products on the market available anywhere, whatever they claim to say they do, that are going to really help you figure out what you want from your life and then get it, or support you to have the things you think you want. There is so much more to it. But this is the unfortunate system that we all live in. And it basically says everyone and everything is more important. Now let's look at work culture, for instance. Pre-pandemic, work culture was grind. You got to work hard. If you want that promotion, you got to stay late. You got to do this. You got to schmooze. You got to be out X amount of times a week. You've got to wear this outfit. If you really want to be taken seriously, you've got to up level and live in, I don't know, a certain area. There was so much pressure on how to make it in your career, but you were still at the mercy of your boss. You were still at the mercy of whatever that company was going to do. You had to do all those things, literally burn out and lose everything else, lose anything else that could be perceived as happiness, because you had to put this hard work in order to achieve any level of success in the workplace. Now, post-pandemic, we're in the great resignation where people have realized, actually, no, I don't want to kill myself for you. I don't want to overwork. I don't actually enjoy the work that I do. I don't want to go into an office. I want to spend more time with my kids. I want to get a dog. I want to do this. I want to do that. And we've started valuing ourselves more, which is awesome. I am obviously the biggest fan of people valuing themselves. But it's very difficult to see that day to day. So you can almost call the pandemic a lifesaver, a saving grace, if you like, in terms of how we see ourselves and the world, an undoing of what we have been conditioned to believe, perhaps. Call it what you like, but it really has had the biggest slant in putting your needs first. And like I say, I am here for all of that. When you don't put yourself first, you compromise your happiness, you compromise joy, you compromise your goals, you compromise your life. You really do. Now, this isn't a pitch for you to work with me. That's your business. That's your choice. But to value yourself is really important. It's really the place that sets your life on fire. Like it makes your life really worth living when you know who you are, what you want from life, and then you lead from that place. You put your needs above anyone and everything else. Now, that can come across as selfish, especially if you're a parent. You'll feel those words like, oh, I can't do that. My kids are my life. They're the most important thing to me. Yeah, they might be. But if you aren't well, how do you look after your children? If you're not happy, what are you teaching your children? You see, it has to start with you. It's the oxygen mask analogy. You have to put your own oxygen mask on first. It is. Because it has to start with you. If you are unhappy, that is what you're teaching your kids. If you are cranky, that is what your kids experience of you. If you are not striving for anything, you're not a role model for your kids. You're a role model for living a mediocre life. Is that what you want? It's okay if that's what you want, but is that what you want? Value yourself. Really look at identifying what it is that you need. I'm going to give you an example. I got to a place of mini burnout. When I say burnout, I don't mean it in a devastating way where I need to seek support. It was a burnout of I've been working too much and not having enough of a break. Now, a break for me is not just the weekend off because my son's there or my husband's at home. For me, a break is a good 48 hours of not being anybody's mother or wife or friend or coach. That is what I need to reset, recuperate, to really rest. That's what I need. Now, I am a parent and I am a wife and I am a coach. So I don't have every single week available to me to take this kind of time off. And I don't necessarily need so much of it in that sense, but I do need it on a monthly basis. Without a doubt, if I don't get that 48 hours to myself, I am terrible. I am cranky. I am just not nice to be around. I don't socialize. I don't want to talk to people. I am not the best coach that I could be. I know that. I know that I need these things in my life. So wherever I can, I make that a priority that every month I get at least 2 nights of not being anybody's mother or wife. And that then resets me. It connects me back to myself, gives me a break. It makes me understand who I am now because we change. We're constantly changing. We're constantly evolving. And then it also gives me space to think about what I need more of. Oh, I need to exercise more. I do need to get to bed a little bit earlier so that I can do it in the morning. And I need to get more organized on the food shopping, actually. It's been getting a bit lax of late. The little things that are important to us that require our attention and time and everything else. It gives you that space to do that. But you can only do that if you choose to value yourself. Again, come down to choice. You got to choose. You got to choose if you want to put your needs first and value who you are, what you need from your life, and then go out and get it. What it means to value yourself, it's about taking a leap. It's about making the decision to value yourself. You know, we don't come necessarily into this world with a true perception of value because we inherit those from our parents and guardians, those that raise us. And then the next set come from our teachers. And then we're in the big bad world. But really, we're just looking at what makes us content as people. And I know that this might be a conversation that is a bit heavy today, that you might be thinking, what on earth are you talking about, Puja? And how the hell am I supposed to do this? I've got bills to pay. I've got people relying on me. I've got this, I've got that. And I'm not talking about any big grand gesture that you need to do. I'm just talking about, and I'm talking to, more so, I'm talking to you. If this time last year, you were in the same place of unhappiness, whatever you were unhappy about last year, you are still unhappy about this year. So, a personal example, I am unhappy about my weight. It is the same as last year. I am unhappy that I didn't put myself first enough to do something about it. I didn't value myself enough to do something about it in this past year. Annoys me, frustrates me. It does. But I chose my business. And luckily, it did work out for me in that sense because the business did well in the past year, considering it didn't need to have done because of everything we've gone through. But it did. But I think, when was it? Maybe a couple of months ago, there was a new moon, and I said to myself, oh no, it wasn't the new moon. It was it was my birthday, right? We have those birthday moments. Woke up that day on my birthday and I was like, I need to change the priority list. And I changed the priority list to health first, business second. And actually, it made a difference. It has made a difference, and very easy difference as well. Like, I'm not killing myself at the gym, trust me, but it's making a difference. So if you are, or if you were single this time last year and lonely and feeling very sad and just like your life's not going where you had hoped it would be going, and you're still in that same position today, I would ask you to start considering to value yourself more and to think about how you can change that. If you were in the same job that you were in last year that you are in now, and you're still unhappy in that job, I would ask you to value yourself and look to change that situation. Because the truth is, you've got to make that decision for yourself. You've got to make the decision of when enough is enough. They say with the law of attraction and manifesting, it's the point at which you hit rock bottom that you start getting all the things that you need. You start really believing in yourself and really understanding what you deserve and asking for what you want, and you get really specific. But day to day, we don't tend to do that. So that's why manifesting can be quite hard. But it's true. If you are feeling now, we're coming up to the end of the year, if you are feeling like your life hasn't moved in any direction whatsoever, that's because you've chosen for it not to move in any direction. Told you, real talk. But you have an opportunity. Look, the year's not over, life is not over. It's a mindset thing. It's a thing about who you are as a person. You know, how do you want to live your life? What do you want from it? You've got to put that value in yourself. You've got to value who you are and that you are important, and your dreams are important. Your experiences are important. Your existence is important. And who is it important to? It's important to you. You cannot wait for somebody else to save you. You cannot wait for happiness to find you. When you have a child, or when you find a partner, or when you move to Dubai, you can't. You have to just find that value within yourself. You are important to you. Your existence is important to you. Your happiness is important to you. What is going to make you happy? What makes you happy? What do you need? And then, my loves, take action towards that. That is how you build your true self. That is how you live aligned to your thoughts and feelings. That's how you make change. Put yourself first. Put your needs first. Put your wants, your happiness, your joys, your pleasures, your desires, your dreams, put them first. There's nothing selfish in this. Or there is. This is a wholly selfish exercise, but not selfish in a negative sense. It's selfish in the sense that if you don't do this for yourself, no one else is going to do it for you, babe. No one else is going to change your life. Only you can do that. I say it to my clients all the time. You know, when they thank me, oh my God, I wouldn't have done this without you. It's like, you did the work. I just guided you towards it. I guided you towards where you said you wanted to go, and I made sure that you didn't veer off track. That's all I did. You did the work, because I can't do it for you. No one can come in and make me exercise apart from myself. I have to make that choice. You have to make that choice, and that's how you build your true self, and you value yourself at that point. So if this show has inspired you to take a leap, but you're not sure where to start, book a free 1-hour coaching conversation with me at my website right now. It'll help you to get some insight and direction with your next steps. And when you're ready, you can sign up and work with me. Let's take the Self-Care 101 podcast to the next level. Head over to the support link to buy me a coffee in the episode description to either literally buy me a coffee with a supporter donation or sign up to one of 3 incredible memberships from just £10, and I can start creating some more incredible content to help you live your best life. Thank you for listening to the Self-Care 101 podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe, rate and review over on Apple Podcasts so that other people like you can find the show. For more information about the work I do, head over to my website, PujaMcClymont.com, and for daily inspiration, please follow me on Instagram at Puja McClymont. Sending love and talk to you soon.